Okay, grade 9s. We're going to move on to the next question here, 37. Sorry, page 37, assignment 2, you have to actually draft. So again, these first two assignments are drafting, so that means pencil, straight edges, actually using some kind of a scale, etc. So this is orthographic drawing on 3-3C using a 1-to-1 scale. So 1-to-1 scale means you just use a regular full-scale ruler. And 3-3C is this one on page 37. Okay, 3-3C is this shape. And you're going to need to draft that. So I'm going to give you a hand. I'm going to get started on that. And see how that goes. Okay. So you're going to need a ruler, a pencil, and this picture. Now, just to review real quick, orthographic means you take the 3D picture and you turn it into top, front, side. And a really important thing is that the bottoms of both line up, the tops of those line up, the sides of those, the sides of these. Everywhere there's a change in angle or slope or plane, they all change at the exact same spot. So what I don't want to see is I don't want to see you just take this thing and go boom, 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 3 pictures, or boom, 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 3 pictures. Make sure it's in this L-shaped pattern. So I'm going to try to keep this one in my picture here. And I'm going to get this this graph paper underneath me here, and we're going to give this a go. So first thing I always do when I need to draft something is I want a rough copy of what it looks like so that I know as I'm going if I'm on the right track or not. So basically what I'd do is I'd sketch it out first. So let's just grab a piece of paper here, and we're going to sketch out what we think this thing will look like. So this thing from the top, I'm going to see this, this, and this. Okay? And so you might ask yourself, well, do I draw it like this? Okay? Or do I draw it like this? Because they both are the same. They have the same parts and the same, they'll be the same measurements. For the purpose of our picture, we want this on the left-hand side and this on the left-hand side. Okay, this and this are the right-hand side. So I'm going to choose this one. This is what I'm going to want as my top view. So not that. So if that's my top view, my side view is going to be this kind of an L or a stepped looking shape, and it's going to go directly underneath. So it's going to go underneath. I'm going to go over, and then right about here I'm going to go down, over here I'm going to go down, over, and then right here I'm going to go down. So that's kind of what that should look like from the side. Sorry, actually this is called the front. And then this here is the side view, and I should see this, this, and this if I'm looking directly at it from the side. And that's all I'm going to see. I'm not going to see this, this, or this, because it's going to be completely horizontal, and in my line of sight I won't see it. Okay? And I'll give you an example of what that means. So if I showed you this, you can see its shape, you can see it's got a hole, and I'm holding it so that you can see that face. But as soon as I turn it like this, you can no longer see, all you can see is a straight line. So you don't exactly know what this thing is. And can you tell the difference between the ruler and the protractor? No, they both look like the same object when you're looking at it that side, because you can't see the details of this side. And so that's the same concept here. You can't see this, this, or this when you're looking at it from the exact edge. So it's going to look like 3 little rectangles. And we want to draw them over here. It should be the same height. Okay. And it should be the same width as this guy. And then right here I'd have one line, and right here I'd have another line. And so this is a rough copy of what my draft, my orthographic picture of this should look like. Okay, so now that I've got this in my head, I kind of put it to the side, and I'm going to reference this once in a while. Now, what I need is a ruler. Okay, it asks us to do this in a 1-to-1 scale, so I can see that my biggest number here is 100. So when I look at this, that's 100 millimeters. Okay, 100 millimeters, not 100 centimeters, 100 millimeters, which is 10 centimeters. So if I'm going to go there, and then I need this wide, which is 30, I need 13 total, plus a space. Okay, now I know in my assignment sheet here, I asked you to leave 40 millimeter spacing between the views. You don't need to do that. Use graph paper and try to use about 1 or 2 squares between your views. That'll work for this assignment. Don't worry about the 40 millimeter spacing because it'll be hard to fit it on a piece of paper. So let's start with this edge. So I'm going to do this edge and this edge first, and I'm going to make sure that they fall right on these black grid lines. So I'm going to move just to about here, and I'm going to put my ruler right on this black line here, and I'm going to get my 0 right on this line here. Okay, so I like that, and I need to go 100. So that's 10 centimeters or 100. Now I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Okay, it's a little bit of a darker line there. And again, I'm just referring to my rough sketch. So now I need to go here, make another 100, and go there to join that up. And that's 30. Okay, so I can see that that's going to be 100 by 30 by 100 by 30. So I'm going to flip my paper sideways. I'm going to go 100 by 30. So my 30, it's actually really nice. It ends up right on that, on the edge of that. So I'm going to flip back. Actually, I don't need to flip back. I can go 30 here, and it's going to fit real nice right there. And then I'm going to go here. Now, obviously, when an architect or a sketch artist is putting a plan or a project together, they might start on graph paper, but they'll always finish on blank white paper. So they would do this here. And you can see how it's hard to see my lines on this graph paper, and it could get confusing. So a final good copy would go on white paper, but I'm asking you to maybe use this grid paper because I think it'll be easier for you to do. Okay, now we've got the main part of our top view made. All we need are these two lines. Okay, and I need to know this distance, and I need to know this distance. I don't really need to know that distance there. But when I look here, I can see, okay, the first one's 40, the next one's 30. I don't know what this is for sure, but I can do the math, and I know that this would be 30. Okay, but I don't need to know that for this particular drawing because all I need is two lines. So I'm going to make a mark at 40, and then at 70. And I'm going to also do the same thing up top here because in order to make a straight line, you need two marks. So there's 40, there's 70, and I'm going to turn it sideways, join it up. Okay. So now I've got my top view. Okay, top views. They look pretty similar. Okay. I can erase any lines or any marks that I don't really want on here. I can see there's a few little pencil marks. Okay. And now I'm going to move to my next view, which is this view. And I want this number and this number. I'm going to start with those two. And I should be able to then kind of get these guys going. And these lines are going to help me draw these. But I want to start with this and this. So I'm going to leave. Two spaces. I'm going to leave two squares, and I can see here that it's 60 by 100. So if I leave two squares, and I put my 0 there, and I go to 60. Well, 30 was right on. 60 should be 2, but it's not quite. So there's 60. And I'm just a little bit above this black line here. Just a tiny bit. So I'm actually going to put my ruler on the top. And I'm going to flip her upside down. And I need this 100. So I'm actually going to put my 100 on the line I just drew. And I flipped it upside down because now I can see this black line. And I can see that my ruler is an equal distance away. So I don't want it tilted like this or like this. I want to really use the lines on my grid paper, which is why you run into problems when you don't have grid paper. It can make it a little difficult when you're first learning how to draft and sketch, okay? So if I was trying to do this on a blank white piece of paper, I wouldn't have any line to go by, but with this I do. So I've got my bottom and my side drawn. So I've got these two. Now I kind of need to, I can kind of lightly do some of these lines. So what I can do is I can line this up here. And I know that the front of it, it only goes, what is it here? It goes 20. So what I can do is I can put my 0 here and make sure that I'm lined up with this one from my top view there, and then I'll just go up 20. I'll put a little mark here and I'll go just like that. Okay, and then you're going to say, well, now I need this one. Well, this one is this line here is going to be this line here that I have to draw. I know it's already 20 up, and then it's another 20. So if I put my ruler on that line, and I put my 0 on the 0, a 0 on my bottom, and I go 20 up is where I'm going to start. And I'm going to go to 40. That means, oops, I went a little bit far there. I'm going to want to erase this. So I'm going to put a mark going this way. Okay. And my last one here should start at 40, and it should be another 20. Now, it doesn't say it, so that's 20, that's 20. It doesn't tell me how big this is, but I know that if this is 60, that's 20, that's 20, that has to be 20. So, again, I'm going to put my ruler there. I'm going to get my 0 down here. Okay, I like where that's sitting. It's going to be directly in line. I'm going to start at 40, and I'm going to go to 60. And now, pretty simple, I should just be able to connect the dots. There's one. There's 2. And again, I'm really trying to hold my ruler as level to these other lines as I can. There's 3. Okay, erase anything you don't like. So now, that's what we've got. We've got top view, we've got front view, and now over here, we need to put our side view. Not underneath, but beside here, so that it's got that L-shaped pattern. Okay. It's going to look like this. It's going to be this tall, same height as this, and these lines are going to be here and here. Okay. Well, it looks like we ended at a really good spot here. We're going to leave 2 square space, and I know from this picture that this is 30 wide. 30, 30, 30, 30. Everything's 30 there. And 20, 20, 20. So those are the 2 numbers I need to know. 30 wide. I get my 0 here. And in this case, maybe I want to just hold my ruler over where this bottom was. And so I might want to just put a nice number like the number 10 right here at this corner, because that's where I want to start. And hold my ruler level with this so that I'm on the same line. And I'm going to go from 10 to 13 because this is 30. So there's 10, 20, 30. from 10 to 13. And now I'm going to go to the very top. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be on this line right here. I'm going to get the 10 right there. And I know my line is going to be still in line with that. I like it. 10 to 13. Okay, I should be able to just join up the two ends of these lines and keep my ruler straight with the grid. And this one. Okay, so now I've got the outline of the box. I've got the outside. Now I just need these two lines here. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Line up my ruler on this line. Make sure I'm still there. And just join. Get here. Same thing. I'm lined up. Okay, done deal. So that's what your picture should be. You don't need any numbers, like you don't need to see 100, 60. I don't need that. This is all I need. What I do want to see is an even space between this and this. And I want to be able to see that these lines are all matching up. Okay? Now that would be your finished product for this one. Page 37, assignment 2, drafting 3-3-C. Okay, so we'll stop it there, and hopefully that helps you finish that one off.